Yeah, go ahead, Steve. What you got, brother?
No. I was talking to one of my coworkers, man. He asked me, he was like, "Yo, bring this up on your pod." Shouts out to my guy Big Will G. He asked me, and this has something to do with the Mike Jack movie, right? He said,
Okay.
"Does people's personas and like what it is, their fame, does it sometimes? Well, does it? Not does it, but when is it or why is it okay that some people get their fame and stuff glorified and then the stuff that they're accused of or has they've done doesn't necessarily get the notoriety and the show the
Who
same
is this
way depending
who
upon the
told you to
people?
ask this question?
Huh?
Say that one more time.
Who is this? I'm sorry,
No,
Mo,
no,
but
no,
who
no,
is
no,
this
no, no, no.
who
You're
told you to
taking it
ask
the
this
wrong way. You're
question?
taking it the wrong way.
Because well, no, because this is the simple answer. But go repeat the question because I got a simple answer.
What he mentioned to me was you got people like, Chris Benoit, right? Chris Benoit was a phenomenal wrestler, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And that's how he brought it to me because originally he said what he said. And I was about to say what you was about to say. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
okay?
come
Yeah,
on,
so
dog. Yeah. But he brought it to a
why?
different level. He said Chris Benoit. He was like, Chris Benoit was a phenomenal wrestler. And yeah, what he did was absolutely heinous. And I'm not saying that he should be celebrated. That's not what I'm saying, people. But what I am saying is that, that dark side of whatever it was that he did, you know, trumped any of the light that he had. And it's like a pick and choose scenario when some people decide to choose that. Like, all right, Elvis and what he's done. What's the dude? Is it Jimmy Lewis? Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire. Is that the
What did
guy?
he do?
He was with his underage cousin too.
Yeah,
Oh
he was
yes,
Jerry.
with the
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
It's
yeah,
yes,
you know what I'm
yes,
was
saying?
with Jerry, right?
Jerry Lewis,
yeah.
one of the two, but
Jerry
He was
Lewis,
the
I
yeah,
think.
Jerry.
Jerry Lewis.
Great
So,
Balls of Fire,
you
dude.
Woody
know,
Allen married his own freak. He raised his own wife.
and that's what he's saying. He said, he didn't think that it was necessarily a bad thing that Mike ended up doing what he did because you already know we was going to go out and support, but he brought up the fact that it's a double-sided coin. How do you feel about that?
I can't feel any way about it because in the law, he was not found guilty. So
Exactly.
he didn't do anything. So when you have a whole bunch of, okay, listen, follow the money in anything. Follow who has the most money in any genre. Music. Who are the people that have the most money in the music industry?
It's going to be the executives
The executives who?
as far as the people that own the
They're not black people.
ho ho.
Now let's go into the media. Let's go into the Viacoms. Let's go into all these different. I can go to each and every one and we could break down the different media companies. Who is the majority stockholders the of these
These
media
entities,
companies?
these being exactly what you said.
And he told us who they were.
And they banned him. And then
And
they
and
proved
and
his point. Year after year after year, they prove his point.
and at the end of the day, Kanye said who they were the majority. I'm just going off who are the majority owners of these entities, right? And from there, follow the money trail. Now, let's go back to the 90s. Let's bring our brains back to the 90s because we were kids. We were really young. And all these different things were being said about Michael Jackson in the media. Who owns it?
Exactly. The
Now
same
we
people
have
he was that was trying to bankrupt him and the same people he was suing. He
now
told
we have
you the devil.
Sony Music.
Yes. He owned half of he
Yeah.
That's the problem. You're
that
gonna
was the
have a
he had too
problem.
much control.
You can't listen. We can't sit there and make up. See, this is the problem with believing media so much. When you
Mhm.
have so much of a ownership stake in it, people don't follow the money trails. They just believe what
No.
they want to hear. They don't follow the money trails. If you go through everything I'm saying, that I'm old. Why are you gonna bring up this people in black and Nah, you follow the money
Money.
trails and the owner trails, and that's who they tell you, and they tell you what to do in that company, and you better do it or you out of there. And some other Negro could be bouncing around
Exactly.
doing it
Yeah.
and saying all this different slander about you.
Mhm.
So, I mean, who was controlling Oprah's pockets when she was out there trying to do those interviews with Michael Jackson, was mad that she didn't get the other interview with him, and then started smearing his name. Guys, I mean, I think after the Epstein files, after we seen these Epstein files and they're hidden from us, who has the majority power and why is it being hidden? Who unalived Michael Jackson?
Yeah, his own doctor. Who got a
Who
payment
paid
from
the
somebody.
doctor?
That's what I'm saying. Who got a payment from somebody and they never went after the person who paid them.
Who were the first people around there that were on the scene? Allegedly Corey Gamble, which allegedly Corey Gamble is with the Kardashian woman. Start following the money trails, man. This is not like it really starts. I think to answer your question, sorry to get on a tangent about it. To answer his question is, I don't think people want to really know the reality. They want to know what makes them feel good about a situation. But when you start layering it down and breaking it down and realizing that there's more forces involved with certain things, I don't think people can handle it. I don't think
It's
people
the
really can
cave
handle what
allegory.
the Epstein files really are.
It's the cave allegory.
That's a fact.
I don't think people can handle it.
People rather see the shadow than turn around and look and see what's really going on behind them. They never look into a cave, and look at the shadows dancing on the wall and turn around and say, oh, they're not dancing on the wall. They beating the shit out of people back here. It just look like dancing to me.
Let's use another analogy because you have New York Knicks gear on, right? So Jalen Brunson did not take $100 million, didn't take his extra $100 million he could have took and gave it to his boy from Villanova,
Hart
the
or
skinny one.
Malik?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, Malik. That was his name, Steve. Shooting Mikal Bridges.
Mikal
Bridges,
right?
Yeah.
Bridges.
Might have been a
Right?
waste of.
Well, regardless, the point is, everybody looks at the money, the $200 million they're making, the $100 million that they're making, that we are making, the athlete makes, the musician makes. They're not looking at who the owners are and how much they're making, how much they're putting out. People don't go in the background and look at the executives and the minority share owners, how much they make. But we talk about the money that the people that we can see make. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, definitely.
That's how the best analogy I can use to try to like make, even that out, because I don't think people only want to see here. They don't want to pull back. They don't want to read the book.
People don't like the past. People don't like to put the past. They don't like to follow the money. I mean, I remember when I followed the money on something a few years ago. When I looked into, they won't censor me for saying this because of who it's about. When I looked into Black Lives Matter, and I went
they like talking about that. Yeah,
who was funding it. And once I seen that, I was like, oh, this ain't even ours. This ain't even ours. And that's why I had some money I was about to donate. So I'm gonna keep my black ass money in my black ass pocket. Like I seen it before the scandal came out, before they was talking about the Sean King and his house and the founder with her $8 million house. Before all of that, I seen it. And so when the stories start coming out about them and whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, I saw that comment. But the person who was behind that, I mean, he's a big dog, and he's one of the people who's the names you cannot say. He who must remain unknown.
That's the point. That's the point. And they don't want you to talk about the people in the shadows that own these entities. For some reason, they are not to be mentioned, but at the same time, you've got people, the media or some people saying, so let's use this for example. This has to do with what you're talking about.
Yes, prime example. Fans love it. Media said it was garbage.
Critics score 98%, audience 26%. Neverland. That's the Never.
Yeah, Leaving
Neverland.
Documentary.
That mess. And then
I refuse to watch it.
I ain't watching that dumb ish.
Yeah.
And then you got 38% critics score on the Michael movie and 97% on the audience score.
I heard one person say it was a bad movie, but I heard the critics say it's a bad movie.
Because they wanted the Dusty. See, they
Yeah.
wanted the dust. See, they wanted the dust and the scandal. They wanted all that. They wanted all that bad. They want to slander, and they didn't keep the same energy with Elvis movie. They didn't do it. You see, that's the problem in the underlying. People can say what they want to say, but they can see what they want to see. They want to be Stevie Wonder when they want to be Stevie Wonder.
Hmm.
And that's the issue. And that's the problem with I was gonna say the country, but I'm gonna say with people. They want to see what they want to see. And the truth comes, and they'll never apologize, especially when they get caught in the wrong. Like it was wrong journalism. They said something wrong. I've never seen people come back and retract and was like, yo,
I'm
I
sorry.
was wrong on
No,
this
they don't do that.
They
at
don't retract.
all.
You know
No, they
what? I
never
went to see
retract.
the
And
movie on Sunday. It was a
I
dope
wasn't. I
experience
haven't
with
seen it
with
yet.
with my son and my mom. You know what I'm saying? It was a vibe, and I thought it was a good movie. You know, truth of the matter is, I'm not gonna lie, keep it 100. I didn't want to go see the movie. It wasn't a scenario where I was like, yo, I gotta go see this Michael Jackson movie. And that's only because I knew that it wasn't going to be what it should have been due to the fact of people not being in it, certain things not being, stories not being told, Janet's not standing by it. But it was a good movie. I learned about the dude Bill Bray. He's a really good guy, man. He was Mike's bodyguard. Pretty much raised him. You know, so when he was a kid, he was in all of Mike's like short films and all this other stuff like that. I learned a lot about that, which was pretty cool. You know, sitting next to my son, listening to him, you know, sing all the songs. My mom had the chance to be a part of it. It was a vibe, man. Dollar went, he took his son, and Dollar had something happen to him that he never knew. But he said, yo, man, I didn't know how big of a star Michael Jackson was. And I was like, yeah, man, you can't compare
I'm
Michael
sorry, Dollar.
Jackson.
This is why you'll never be a guest on the pod because of shit like that. I'm sorry, sir.
He
You my
said,
man.
yo, we also said that, he was sheltered. He didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of music back in the day. But he said that,
Understood.
he found out that Mike was throughout watching this movie and seeing his son in there dance. He had a video dancing with some elderly lady that was having a good time in the movie theater because Mike was getting busy. It was a movement. It was something that I felt, is like nothing you'll ever see before because you had to be there to fully embrace how dope of a movement it was. I loved it, man. And I loved the fact that I was able to create a really dope moment for my son and my mom, So yeah, it was fire. I urge you to go check it. You and everyone else,
so, yep.
definitely.
So, yeah,
All
and
right.
my take on it, like Money was saying, it's all who controls the narrative at the end of the day. People are lazy. People not smart. They just want the same repetitive every day. And, you break the norm, it's a problem. Chris Benoit is a good example, though, of somebody who they don't talk about anymore. But, I can't
There's a
say there's
bunch.
wrestlers who've done worse. And I don't know of any who've done what he did. But at the same time, it's like there's a whole era of the WWE that was pretty good when he was there doing his thing and when he had
WCW
his
too.
championship run.
WCW.
WCW too, exactly. So we miss out you miss out on a whole lot because he's been erased from, wrestling history. And it's almost like it's easy for some people to say I can separate art from the person. Because I can. I'm not gonna lie. The Kel song comes on my freaking shuffle on my phone or my Apple Music, I rock it. Toya Toyin comes on, it gets turned up. Like I'm not gonna hold you. But Chris Benoit had some of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. And I'd
Absolutely.
like to be able to go back and watch those sometime. I'm not gonna lie. As a wrestling fan, I'd like to see it. I don't condone anything he did with his family. I think it was gross what he did, and he probably had terrible brain injury because of his finishing move. He was
Yeah.
Yeah,
constantly
that
hitting
move
his
was
head,
crazy.
and that's why he went to the
Yeah, it
crippler
was.
more towards the end of his career. But you gotta be able to separate the two. I personally feel we have blatant racists that have made music, like we talked about
Mm-hmm.
Elvis,
Valkyrie.
and people still rock with him.
Mm-hmm.
We still celebrate Ty Cobb, who beat the black shoe shine boy within an inch of his life because I don't even remember why. Just because he felt like it, because it was a fucking Tuesday. He beat the shit out that kid. And other people were all the people were like, bro, what are you doing? Like, that's freaking Johnny. Like, Johnny's always here. You beat the shit out of Johnny for? We celebrate him, you know? So it's like we pick and choose who we want to celebrate around this place, world, especially this country. And you know what? And I got why Chris Benoit's not celebrated the way. He's Canadian, sir. If he was an American, they would have overlooked it. He's Canadian, so they get to pull that foreigner shit. Crazy immigrants, you know what they like to do. If he was born in Arkansas or Kentucky, man, they would have looked the other way. You know how many women allegedly said Jerry Lawler was inappropriate with them?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
He was on TV for like 25 years. It would never phased him.
I mean, even the stuff he was saying was crazy though. He used to be
He
saying
would say the
crazy
wild
stuff. He used to say the
wild.
craziest stuff. Quick too. Real fast.
Yeah.
You had to catch it.
Mm-hmm. He would say wild stuff. So yeah, I mean, it all depends, man. I think if Chris Benoit was like I said, a good old boy, they'd be like, he's the greatest wrestler. He had brain damage. He didn't do that because of anything besides that. He was a troubled, tortured soul. They'd rationalize it. We'd be able to get the Canadian Crippler t-shirt still, Rabbit Wolverine t-shirts. We'd be able to buy all of it still. Steve, we can't hear you. Steve, you
Yeah, we
muted.
can't hear you, dog.
Everybody got a mic except for Steve. Hit the rainbow. Hit the rainbow. He can't even defend himself now.
Back.
Oh, there he is.
That was horrible. Anyway, yeah, man, the German suplexes, man. Shouts out to the real wrestlers, man. Oh, somebody out there wilding for the night.
Have y'all seen these videos? Have y'all seen these?
Shut your ass down.
Yeah, let me watch my movie, man.
Somebody else got up there? This is ridiculous.
See him? Look.
It's Mike, man. Can't say anything about it, man. The dude was a movement.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be mad.
I would be too. I don't think that was the movie though. I think that might have been like the video, but still, I would have been.
Listen, I would have said, you don't sit your $5 ass down.
Yeah, exactly. I come here and watch you dance around, bro.
Yo, but the problem, y'all, it's all over. It's not just one. See, just the thing is, these people, y'all, this is the main character syndrome. Like, this is like, like you are not all of the program.
My God.
Look at that. Why ain't this?
These cats have been waiting their whole life for this.